word design can be a little funny at times. It could have different interpretations depending on the scenario. When you hear the phrase, "That's a great design," would you know exactly what your interlocutor meant by that? It could mean aesthetics, functions, or even both. To give a much deeper meaning to the word design, let's put it this way. Design is about giving meaning to something. It is all about creating an everlasting experience. Design is something more than aesthetics, and most certainly it has many notches above the planning function. That is exactly why the concept of design transcends a single discipline. It can be applied to web, mobile, software, fashion, industrial, interior, and everything else. In the world where anything could be built, it is a matter of understanding whether it really should be built. That is design. Design is something that elevates the lives and lifestyle of people. Design changes what is into what ought to be. Design is the way to build a better and beautiful world. However, what we need to keep in mind is the fact that everything is designed, but few things are designed well. Design is so simple, and that's what makes it so complicated.
Over the course of human history, many significant events shaped the world into what it is today. Discoveries were made that altered humanity's course and molded generations. Wars were fought, but the power of the paintbrush on canvas has remained constant throughout. It is, in fact, the power of art. Chandraguptha is one of the senior figures in contemporary Sri Lankan art. His work has been exhibited internationally from his native Sri Lanka to Australia, Asia, and Europe, with notable permanent installations in Colombo and Japan. He is the director of the Vibhavi Academy of Fine Arts in Colombo.
Art and design is a very important part of our life because humankind survive because of the art and design. If you separate art from design, so then you can say everything is art. It's the same way you can say everything is design. So, and the more design has a more practical and usable value, and without design in our objects around us and our living spaces, and for beautification of surrounding you need designs. But when you do art, so art has very different kind of function. Actually art we found very late. So around 19th century we started to talk about more about art, but it's earlier, it's just sometimes it works as a decoration also and giving some kind of illustrate things historically or religiously. Those kind of themes can be illustrated so that it can also become kind of art.
circumstance of human evolution, an unfortunate byproduct. Many lives have been lost over countless wars, and many who survived the rubble to see a brighter day carry with them the scars of their past.
When I started that camouflage, that means around 1996, and I sketched first camouflage, and I did my first camouflage painting in 1997. So throughout my whole career now, camouflage is following me, because a camouflage, through the camouflage pattern, so I just wanted to not to camouflage things. Actually, using the camouflage, I'm trying to provoke people's mind through elements I'm going to hide within that camouflage patterns. So it tells you the story, and so that even today I do camouflage, because I think our socio-political environment is not very good enough to have kind of proper life, because everybody around us, especially the political institutes and religious institutes, especially extreme Sinhalese Buddhist elements, so they provoke various kind of thoughts, anti-human acts they are making. So I can see, so those kind of acts help only to destruct the society. And you can't live peacefully and harmoniously, and there won't be any reconciliation. So, and especially you can see how when the camouflage used to hide things during the war. Another art expression is the barrelism, because when I introduced the barrelism, that era we saw everywhere barrels. Barrels means camouflage barrels, and colored patterns they used to hide the barrels and block the roads. And when you see the kind of barricade with the barrels, immediately you have to think about your identity. You are a Sinhalese, or you are a Muslim, or Tamil, and then that identity issues came immediately, unconsciously. You have to think about it. You have to show your identity card, and that showing identity card, you have to show who you are, especially your ethnic background. So that is why I saw the need near the barricades, so that the issues came up. And if you have any connection, you born in or lived in Tamil areas, and even Sinhalese who lived in those areas got the problems, and Tamils got the problem because they speak Tamil. Their identity card, the words written in Tamil. So it's a one issue. And other thing is, normally we build roads to go to another place. And when you block that road, then there is a question, you have no right to move freely. So there is a border and there is a limit. And with that limit and border start a lot of issues. Whose border? Who is controlling that border? Why they are stopping? And so, at the same time, again, most of the barrels, camouflage, were placed in front of some buildings, some important roads. So if you look at that, and you can see that most of the barricades they installed to protect some political institutes, power institutes, and economical institutes, not the people. So then you see, especially the most of the ministers and those kind of political people who live those areas fully barricaded, and still we can see the lot of humps also built to reduce the speeds of the cars.
While many artists choose to focus on the multitude of colors and vibrancy that the joy of life brings us, many still catch the eye through their work in the more gray areas and struggles of staying alive.
I think as an artist, I have a duty to work towards it. That is why still I cannot paint beautiful paintings. Might be even though I love to paint human figures and portraits, female bodies, but still I can't return it to do a kind of exhibition. Governing process also had some kind of issues, only talks and nothing happening. So that is why I started to show that situation is kind of glitch situation, because even the glitch is happening when you are not getting proper electricity to see the picture. So it's happening on the television. You can see the glitch effect when there is no proper electricity coming into the image. So image was distorted. So that effect, through that effect I started to introduce the glitch painting. That glitch is, I think, still going on. That is why the more glitch effects are coming with my painting. So I use the word glitch for my exhibitions, especially after 2015. So still I think there are more glitch effects are coming with my paintings, and again back to camouflage, mixing with the color patterns, go back to again with the might be creating the question in what is happening around us now. I do, most of the time, I do conceptually very important. That conceptual part is very, very important in my art. So I do paintings, sometimes I do sculptures to help my ideas when I need to tell more and occupy in the space.
The great Michelangelo once said, "The best artist has that thought alone which is contained within the marble shell. The sculptor's hand can only break the spell to free the figures slumbering in the stone." Chandragupta has shown time and again that he can, in fact, break that spell.
I use sculptural form to create my installation artwork. So installation means it's not a kind of sculpture or not a kind of painting, but it can be a painting plus sculpture or sculptural painting or anything. But you have to create the kind of space where people can react with that space and get some kind of ideas. So most of the time, especially with the introduction of the barrelism, most of the exhibition I used at least one installation. Art is to create the environment to think who are going to look at that artwork. Where my art is, in front of that my art, the viewer can create their own thinking space and you can make a dialogue with my art and you can agree with me or disagree with me. You can argue with me, you can accept my ideas and so or find engagement. So that engagement creates the beauty. That is why the concepts are very important. That through that concept, your mind gets pleasure. When your mind is working, I try to provoke the minds of the people or minds of the viewer.
There is no man with a bigger purpose than an artist. He shares many characteristics with all beings. But if he is to fulfill his artistic ambition, he must utilize the special intellect gifted to him. It is his identity that shines through in his work. Although this may seem like a conclusion for today, it is in fact a new beginning for tomorrow.